All right, welcome back for another Wednesday watch list. This is the first watch list for the new year. This is my look ahead to this new Comic Book Wednesday releases for January 3rd, 2024. Yes, the first watch list of the year, and there's some new books already dropping just as the year is starting. Hopefully, you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see what books I'm keeping my eye on for this week, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, new year, new books. Let's see what we got this week. Starting off with our buzz books. These are some books that had some buzz leading into this week. Some of them been building to for quite a while. First one being Vengeance of Moon Knight. Yes, Mark Spector is gone. Ended the last Moon Knight series with issue 30. We are starting anew with a new character in the role of the Fist of Khonshu. Don't know much about this yet, as I have not read this book yet, but I am looking forward to picking this one up and checking it out as well. A lot of covers coming on this new number one, as you might not be surprised. I mean, it is a Marvel number one. It is a character that they have a lot of faith in, I guess, considering they've had a show, etc., and a recent push with that Death of Moon Knight series, that Night's End. But here are a couple more covers. We're getting a Capullo. There's a surprisingly okay Frank Miller. Yes, that Frank Miller is not awful. It's not great. It's still a little basic, but it's not terrible, at least in my opinion. And I know I've been giving Frank a lot of guff over a lot of the covers released last year, but maybe in 2024 we'll get some cleaner stuff. With that said, these are all regular cover price variants that you can go pick up. But apart from that, there will obviously be incentives, including a foil, which costs like $10. So you can get that foil edition. There's a 1 in 10. There's also a 1 in 25. And if those don't float your boat, well, you can go even higher and get virgin versions of some of those other covers, including a 1 in 50 on the Capullo and a 1 in 100 on the Frank Miller. None of these that I've shown you right here are really selling at a premium above ratio. So if you're interested, you can probably still find them ratio and less from the 50s to 100, etc. Some of them even at a deep discount. With that said, the one to take note of is the highest ratio of the bunch, and that is the Hidden Gems 1 in 200 version here. So this, classic looking cover. I like this a lot, actually. If this were a lower ratio, this is 1 in 25, I'd probably be buying this. I am not shelling out for a 1 in 200, though. And from what I can tell, no one has shelled out for the 1 in 200 as of yet, but the asking prices are there, and they're looking for ratio, couple looking for $200, and there's another one looking for as high as $375. Whatever the case, $200 is a lot for a new release book, so this one is going to be one that I probably miss, but like I said, I kind of like it. And if it were a lower ratio and more affordable, I probably would be getting it. But with that said, this is coming out this week, so I'm sure there will be some interest in it, and I'm sure there will be people with a larger wallet than me who will be shelling out some bucks probably for this book. But we'll see. We'll see. Also coming out this week, we got basically, it's kind of a reprint. It's kind of a compilation of all the previous appearances, but we are getting Kid Venom Origins #1. They're delivering us this Origins issue as kind of like a kickoff because we are getting a Kid Venom series starting in a few weeks. So keep an eye out for that too. Yes, I know, Spider-Boy, Kid Venom, where else are we going? Are we really that devoid of ideas? But without knowing too much about the character, because again, I haven't paid it much attention, I will say the design is kind of cool looking. So I at the very least will check it out to see what it's all about. Here's the cover A. There is also a B cover as well, including, some of them I might skip some of the covers because they're going to end up in other segments. But there is a 1 in 25 for this one. So keep an eye on that one as well. Incentives for books like this always tend to have some interest. Already at the outset, this thing has sold for around ratio and above. We're looking at 25 up to just about $40 with some early pre-sales. Some sales just in the last couple of days. Some that one for almost $40 was from the 22nd. So, like a week ago or so. On the market right now, asking prices around 35 to 45 though. So definitely well above ratio as the ask goes. So it's one to keep an eye on. All right. On top of that, the other one to point out this week is that this comic is also getting a secret release. This is one of those polybagged. Don't really want to call it one per store because I think it's one per retailer, depending on how many distributors you buy from. So much like the Greg Capullo Wolverine, there's possibilities that some shops, if they order from Diamond, they order from Penguin, they might get 2 copies of this. They might get one from each. But it is like a one per retailer type of release, but again, some of them might get more than one. And it's polybagged like that Wolverine 37. You remember that one? That one hit the hot list a couple of times last year. And I'm not saying that's what's going to follow here because we've seen a few of these now over the last few months where they're kind of going to that back to that same well with all of these spoiler covers and these secret release variants. The market can only hold so much. So we'll see if interest remains with this one. Right now, there is a little bit. There is a little bit. As you might expect with many of these secret releases, this is right out the gate selling for about 25 bucks. That's been about the norm. Trying to sell them starting at almost like a 1 in 25. Even though it's not a 1 in 25, like I said, that $20 to $25 mark has been kind of the standard start for most of these types of secret books coming out. Asking prices right now are still in that 25 up to $35 range. We'll see if this continues to sell, if this has the volume and the demand that Capullo Wolverine does. I do kind of like this cover. It is a pretty cool Luciano Vecchio cover. It's got like a manga kind of vibe, going there, obviously. But Kid Venom, I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to take a look. So with that, those are our 2 buzz books for the day. Some of these segments are a little light because while there are plenty of new releases, some of these segments are very light on content because there aren't that many of these books to come out. Like, I'll probably try to read both of those, but outside of those, my reading list is pretty thin for this week because it only includes this Fall of the House of X because, well, I'm an X-Men fan and I can't get enough, I guess. Or I just don't know how to say no. Whatever the case, I'm going to keep buying X books, and I am looking forward to seeing where we're going with this new direction. So, with this book, as you might guess, plenty of covers. We've got a cover A, we got B's and C's, we've got D's and E's and F's, and I don't know all the letters of the alphabet you want, but some of these you got a Scotty Young's kind of cool, In-Hyuk Lee there, which is I think an underappreciated with the Ninja Kitty Pride. I kind of like that one, but obviously a lot of people are gravitating towards the Archer Magic cover there in the middle because not only can you get this cover price trade dress version, there are incentives for this book as well, including virgin versions of 2 of these covers. So there is a 1 in 25, but the 1 in 50 is a version of the art germ, and the 1 in 100 is a version of the In-Hyuk Lee Ninja Kitty Pride. That said, 1 in 25, there's plenty of them out there. I think it's a Donnerman cover, but the art germ, a lot of interest, a lot of fans of art germ. People do like these. This 1 in 50, has already got some motion on it. Early pre-sales in the $80 up to $120 type of range. Granted, some of these go back. Well, now all of these are in the last few days. Those 3 sales, December 29th, 30th, and 31st. So those are recent sales. So I can't even point to early pre-sales. But asking prices, yes, there is one asking 70, and then a couple others asking 120 plus. So we'll see where this one lands. But right now, the 1 in 50 is moving above ratio at a decent clip. So definitely one to keep an eye on. And again, not totally surprised. I mean, we've seen this formula work many times before. Despite the fact that Marvel gives us so many high ratio virgin versions, still, every so often, one of these does hit. So will this be one of those? Early indications are it could be, but we'll see how the week plays out. The book's not even out yet. So we'll see how it goes and over the next couple of days. Surprisingly, this is the 1 in 50, which seems to be outpacing the 1 in 100. As I said, this is also a virgin version. Also a very popular artist. In-Hyuk Lee has many, many fans and has had many covers that have heated up over the last couple of years. But this one here just doesn't seem to have the same kind of traction that the art germ does right now. As look, early sales on this one, 70 to 100, despite the fact that this is a 1 in 100 and that was a 1 in 50. So that's ratio and less. Asking prices seem to be mostly like less than ratio. Look, 60, 90. And yes, there are some outlier asks looking for as high as 270. But who's going to pay 270 when there's a $60 option? Why would somebody pay over $200 above the ask when there's another option available? So, even at 60 bucks, that's a lot of money, but this is a 1 in 100, so that is at a pretty decent discount off of that ratio. So, who knows? But interesting to see how much one cover can outdo the other. And it makes me wonder if they would flip flop these. Would we be talking about that Archerm as a $200 to $300 comic right now? Probably, based off of recent history. So maybe it is a godsend that it's only 1 in 50. That it's a little bit more affordable for those collectors. Still, for me, I can't pay that much. I just can't stomach paying that much. So I will just get the trade dress. Be happy with that. With that said, I do want to read this book, and I might even check out a couple of these new number ones. But I did separate these out into our new number one section because, well, yeah, they are number ones, and we got to spread things out a little bit. Starting off with Critical Role, Tales of Exandria. So, for those of you who may be aware or not aware, Critical Role is that popular D&D, I guess I want to say factory, but they come up with these, games and stories, including Vox Machina, which was a great series so far. Only 2 seasons out so far for that animated series on Amazon. And they have the Mighty Nine, I believe, coming on the way too. So here is another tale in that world at a Critical Role. So new comic series. There are comics for Vox Machina and the Mighty Nine, and some graphic novels, mostly for the Mighty Nine. But still, stuff out there if you're interested in that kind of thing. I am a fan. I'm a fan of D&D. I'm a fan of the Critical Role stuff. So I will be checking this one out as well. In that same kind of vein, Whatnot Publishing or Massive Publishing, I guess, whatever they call their publishing company, they have this Quested series coming out. So it's a follow up to the previous Quested series, the Four Henches Adventure. Multiple covers here, including some interesting homages. Just like this. I was going to put this in the homage section because it's obviously the Captain America. As you can see, even the trade dress has that Captain America vibe and the crazy Liefeld chest. But I figured it's pretty obvious, so I didn't need to put it in that segment. But with that, here are variant covers that you can get. Cover price. There's also another cover price one that's a video game from the. It looks like a GameCube cover. Then we got Virgin versions of the one cover, and then there's a 1 in 10 sketch cover as well. If you're interested in that kind of thing, nothing is really moving like at a premium. But if you're curious, want to check out this Quested series, there you go. And especially when you get a nice little Zelda video game box homage, it doesn't hurt. So with that, we are also getting a new number one out of Boom, something to do with a cop and her husband, a former cop, I should say. Like I think she's a retired detective, and her husband's like a former MMA fighter, and then I think they opened a detective agency, and I guess. Well, not hijinks, but then intrigue ensues, and we're getting this new story out of Boom called Pine and Merrimack. Being a Boom title, multiple covers on this one as well. Getting B's and C's and FOC reveals, secret unlock covers, which is the one here on the right, which looks like it maybe has foil. Maybe that's what's so special about it. That's selling for about the same amount as the 1 in 25, which is right around ratio. So I don't know what that one unlock is. I don't know if it's what the ratio was to unlock it or what the mark had to be, but it seems to be in that same realm of that $20, $25 range as the 1 in 25. But other than that, again, not moving above that ratio mark, but something to keep an eye on. Another Marvel book. I thought about putting this in the Buzz area, but we just left it in number ones. We are getting Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, number one. As we all know where this one's going, I think he's going to be getting a symbiote for the first time. But before we get there, we have this Zombie of 2099 showing up. There's a cover A here. We get a design cover for Zombie there. That's a 1 in 10. There's a B cover as well, which is also not to be forgotten because it's going to come back as a Virgin on the incentives, of which we're getting a 1 in 50, a 1 in 25, and like I said, a Virgin version of that B cover as a 1 in 100. With that said, another Marvel 1 in 100. Let's take a look because we gotta. As you might expect, little bit of movement. One sale all the way back in November. was $130. It was above ratio. Nothing since then, but the asking prices 240 to 280. We've seen this a lot these last few weeks where there's a lot of these 1 in 100s, be it the Star Wars ones, the Marvel ones, where we see the same story play out where, yeah, there's one early pre-sale like a couple months ago that's a tiny bit above ratio, and then the asking prices are so high, nobody buys them. And then we get maybe one sale during the week for right around that 120, 130. So we had a couple last week. Remember, guys, this is not new, and it seems like this is where this one might be going as well. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe there'll become a rush on this one. All of a sudden, this is a $250 book come weekend. Don't know, but for now, I'd err on the side of caution and probably just opt for one of the cheaper covers if it were me. That said, I spoke about that quested book being an homage with the Captain America chest. We do have an homage section here, most of which will be filled by this new Wolverine variant cover run. I'm probably going to do a short on these once they're all done or once I have all the nice clean images for all of them, but these look like these could be pretty fun. Bunch of Wolverine covers coming across all titles in Marvel. There's probably going to be like 20 of these or so. Starting here, Captain America 5. Wolverine right there on the cover, basically mimicking Captain America 100. And you can see pretty well done, one for one, but this time we got different Wolverines here celebrating that 50 years of Wolverine this year. So that's what we're getting to here right off the bat in January. 50 years of Wolverines being celebrated with these variant covers. Also getting one here on Doctor Strange, number 11. But he's riding Ghost Rider's motorcycle, like Ghost Rider number 1 from 1990. Was it 90 or 91? Whatever, you know which one. It's right there. Why Doctor Strange getting a Ghost Rider cover and not on the Ghost Rider title? I don't know, man. I don't make the rules, but this is what they're doing. We are getting a Spider-Man at least on Spider-Man. Granted, it's Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man 2099, and we're getting a Spider-Man 1 homage, which we've gotten, I don't know, maybe as many times as 300, pretty close to it, if not. But again, familiar cover, familiar, redo. That's fine. I mean, it's not done poorly. I mean, the wires filling in for the webs is kind of a nice touch, but it's still something we've seen done and done and done. And couldn't we have done it again, like the Doctor Strange? Couldn't we get a 2099 cover? Couldn't we just do an homage to 2099 number 1 maybe instead? I don't know, just saying. Why does Spidey have to go on here? Whatever. Because like I get this. The next one makes a little bit more sense. And I think this might be the last one for this week, but Venom has this cover here with the skull, which is kind of cool. And yes, this is on Amazing Spider-Man 347, the original, but that is a classic Eric Larson Venom cover. So it makes sense for a classic Venom cover to be done on Venom's comic, as opposed to why is Ghost Rider on Doctor Strange's comic? Or why is regular Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man, on Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man title? I don't know. It just seems lazy. Just seems like they're kind of forcing things in there. That said, that's 4 decent homages already in this run with more to come. So we will probably be keeping an eye on these the rest of the month. Also, Marvel is not giving up. Even though Disney 100 is done, they're sticking with this idea and they are rolling with it on Amazing Spider-Man. So if you don't recall, last year Amazing Spider-Man kept doing those Disney 100 homages. Like every 2 issues, it was a new one. So basically every month, we're getting a new Disney homage. Here we go on Amazing Spider-Man issue 41, which you can't know anyway by looking at this cover that this is actually a Spider-Man book. The cover says Avengers 1, everything, trade dress, all of that, Avengers 1, homage, Avengers 1, Avengers 1, Avengers 1. Inside this book has nothing to do with the Avengers. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 41, part of Gang War. But this is what we're doing. More of these what-if covers on Spider-Man. Again, I don't get it. I guess I get it. I guess Spider-Man is one of their best-selling titles, and they want to have these out there on one of their best-selling titles because they are moving 1 in 100 black and white versions of these as well. These were hot initially. I don't think anybody cares too much anymore for these, but, keep an eye on them. This one in particular, we've already got a few pre-sales, but look, they're ratio and under $190, $102. Asking prices 100, one that's at auction at $52 right now. So not at a premium. It's right there, that ratio mark, which I still think is too much. I mean, it's a lot of money for a black and white Disney homage. $100. Come on. But whatever. Marvel giving us a lot of variant covers that I don't know if we really needed or asked for them, but we're getting them anyway. Bunch of Wolverines. We got those ski chalets last month. We're getting more of these Disney covers. And for whatever reason, this month we are also apparently getting ROM covers. Yep, ROM. Space Knight. Here we go. So, Amazing Spider-Man number 41 not only has that Disney cover, they're also giving us this ROM variant licensed by Hasbro right there on the cover. I don't know why we're getting these, but we are. This week we're getting the Spider-Man and we are getting the Thanos number 2 ROM variant. I don't know. Just putting it out there that these exist. So if you're curious or you're a big ROM fan, here's your chance to go get your ROM set. I mean, I'll probably end up doing a short on these as well. I'm not doing shorts every day in 2024. It's I mean, it's not too much work. It is a bit of work to put them together, but there's just a lot of them just don't seem to be drawing people's interest. So I'm just going to do them more sparingly when I see things that I think are fun to do, and not put myself nailed down to a daily schedule of any kind. So if you notice, I did one for Christmas. I kind of finished a few weeks ago, but I did one for a couple for Christmas, like one on Christmas Eve, one Christmas Day, and I did one for New Year's. But going forward, I'm just going to randomly throw some of these things out there, and hopefully you guys enjoy them, because I do enjoy making them. The shorts with the music and all the variant covers. So you will be getting a ROM set at some point later this month, and probably the Wolverine as well. With that all said, time for one of my favorite segments.
WTF, Gary? WTF. What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck? Oh,
that's right. WTF. Yeah. All right. We're going to start off easy with this segment and go with nothing. It's not terrible. I just don't know why. Golden books. So a golden books, a little Samaria book. It's kind of fun. It's kind of funny, but I don't know. I know my buddy Joe was going to buy this, but I don't know if I need this. It's kind of funny, like to look at, but again, there's other covers here, and we're even going to get to the Conan book that I would like to buy later when we get to the Cheesecake segment over the Golden Books homage here, or whatever you want to call it. But I figured I'd put this in here because it is worth noting, but it just made me pause for a second going, really? I mean, I get the joke. I get the play of something as adult as Conan being mixed with a children's book like this, but still, it does give you pause and make you think WTF to yourself, at least for half a second, which is why I put it in here. The other, or another, WTF moment is when I saw this Marvel Meow number 1. Can you guess what this is about? Do you? It's about cats, people. We're getting comics about Marvel cats, famous Marvel cats, apparently. Comics for cats. Yep. So not for me. Multiple covers on this. No incentives, just 3 covers, including this is cover A, including a fun homage there. As you can see, the Lion King right there. I don't know why we need it, but there we go. Marvel Meow is giving us that Lion King with Spidey. Whatever. If you love cats, I guess this is for you. Otherwise, I don't know why we have this. But there it is. Cat books. Up next, I know you're probably going to be surprised. Why is this one here? This was just here because, seriously, what's going on here with the Thanos Smash of the Titans? So we got Hulk facing off with Thanos, and you go, wow, that's kind of cool. And then you look at Hulk and be like, well, why is this Street Fighter 2? Why does it look like Blanca's just jumping in and attacking Thanos? Because that's what it looks like to me. So this gave me a WTF moment for a second when I saw this cover. Then I saw there's an incentive, a Thanos incentive drawn by Gabriel Delato. I went, ooh, I'm intrigued. And I saw it and went, oof. Not my favorite. I'll just say that. It's not my favorite. But there is this Delato 1 in 25. If anybody is interested, but not for me. I like Delato a lot, but sometimes even the best of us miss, right? That said, our next WTF book just kind of jumps out at you. Fantastic Four, just okay. Alex Ross, what are you doing? Were you watching RoboCop 2 recently? Because that is all I could see when I saw this cover. If you don't remember the bad guy? He was like the drug deal and they put him inside the robot outfit. Oh, is this too far away? You need me to zoom in? Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. He's just a brain and a spine in a jar inside the robot. That's, yeah, RoboCop 2. Whatever. That said, I mentioned we have some other segments, but they don't have a lot in them. Starting with later prints. Usually, this is a pretty hefty segment. A lot of seconds, a lot of thirds. Skybound, Image, dumping book after us, giving us multiple copies of those Energon Universe books, and Marvel just shoveling out those incentive 1 in 25s on second prints. But guess what? This week, we get none of that. This week, I'm not even sure if we can call this a second print because for whatever reason, they're calling it a second chance. Okay. I don't know, but second chance variant, which to me is still second print. We're getting Assassin's Creed Visionaries. I kind of like this one. It's not bad, but there were multiple covers, as you guys saw. I covered Assassin's Creed #1 already. This is another cover, but God, how many covers can we buy for the same book? So this one I'll probably let slip by, but who knows? Who knows? Sometimes these types of things get collectible because many people say the same thing as me. I'll just let this one go, and then later they want it, change their minds, and can't find it. Also, you might be thinking, all right, well, another hefty segment that you usually have on here is covers. There's a bunch of covers you'll just throw in there that you like. And surprisingly, outside of the other segments, there weren't many. So few, in fact, that I only picked this Star Wars Rebels 10th anniversary Ahsoka. And I didn't really love this one. I was just like, all right, it's kind of cool. It's Ahsoka. This is it. This is the only cover pick that I picked. That's not, and again, in one of the other segments. So hold your horses. Don't worry. There's still good covers. I'm just saying they might find themselves in other areas. Like our Cheesecake segment, for one, which is where we're going into the Cheesecake covers for this week. And I mentioned Conan. And I mentioned the Golden books might not be for me, mostly because, well, I can't buy too many Conan books. And I kind of like these two that we're getting for this cover already. The Dan Panosian there in the middle, which I think there's also a foil version. And then the Jay Lee is also pretty sweet. So the Golden books just gets pushed down the line of covers I would like to get for this series. But that Panosian is really cool in my opinion. I like it. But on top of these, we're also getting some Savage Red Sonja. And I know what you're going to say is, hey, that one in the middle, that's not a Cheesecake cover. Look, it's a lot of background. Yeah, there is a lot of background. There's a lot of mood. There's a lot of setting there. But if you zoom in and you see Red Sonja there just in her iron bikini, whatever, that's why it qualifies for me. So we do got the Cho where she's fighting the arrows, and then we got the other one over on the right. I can't forget who did that one. I don't think it's Panosian, but whoever did the one over on the right, also another one. But here, I'll zoom in just for a second. You can see there. That's why this is the Panosian. The Panosian's in the middle. See, but it's still a lot of vibe here when you get this little street, the market. Kind of like it. But with that said, we're also getting another Vampirilla, Dead Flowers, issue 4. We got a Perillo, and a couple other covers, including a upskirt shot with no skirt. Yeah, so more Cheesecake for you. If you're into these, go for it. As you know, Dynamite covers, there are multiple shading virgin versions of these, of black and whites and color versions and Copic versions and partially cut. Weird faded different, many options here. It's Dynamite. They can't get enough different covers. Basic Instinct out of Sumerian is having an issue 2. Obviously this pretty intriguing, almost not suitable for work cover. Even the cover A is not bad. I didn't put it in here, but it's just like close up on a cigarette just dangling off the lip of the character, almost like Ray Stantz in Ghostbusters. So cigarette, just whatever. I thought about that one, but didn't. 1 in 25 is kind of cool. I thought she was hugging Daredevil there for a second, but it's just a silhouette, and I guess that's the mannequin guy's hair. But I thought it was Daredevil because I thought it was a horn. But that said, still a pretty cool cover for 1 in 25 if you're into that ratio sort of thing there for Sumerian. I did like the 1 in 10 on issue 1. I don't know if I'm going to go and get this one, but yeah, like I said, get the ones you like, but don't go overspending. Also, not surprisingly, in our Cheesecake segment, we are getting some more Zenescope books. This time out, we are getting Robin Hood, Blood in the Water #1. There you go. Robin Hood, the female version of Robin Hood there with her bow and her bikini lying on a boat. Not enough for you? There's a multiple covers on this one as well, both of which qualify pretty good. There you got with an inflatable dragon, if you're into that. Kind of fun. So more Zenescope books for you if you're, again, so inclined. On the DC side of things, there is a B cover for Fire and Ice that's kind of fun because it's pillow fight. Girl pillow fight cover. You don't see that too often. But here we go. If you're into it, B cover on Fire and Ice #5. Welcome to Smallville. The 1 in 25 of Shazam has a pretty sweet Nakayama cover. I like it, but don't love it. There's something in here that just is not sitting completely right with me. I don't know what it is yet. Maybe one of you guys will comment and say, be like, oh, arms are too low, legs are too low, whatever it might be. Some weird little nitpick that will then jump out and go, hey, that's what's kind of bothering. There's something here that is giving me pause, but I don't know what it is. And I'm a big David Nakayama fan, as you know. But there's something here that's giving me a little pause on this Mary Marvel cover. But it's not giving everyone pause because this already has a couple of pre-sales in the $30 to $50 range. Asking prices on this are already asking as high as $60 to $70. So we'll see where this one shakes out as the week goes on. But already this 1 in 25 has a lot of momentum going into the week. Saw this book also. I think I saw that one on Brucifer's show. I was on his show on Friday, and we looked. He does a look ahead too for some of these covers, and we looked at some of these. But this is my look ahead now. Poison Ivy. This is the cover price version for Poison Ivy #18 in Hyuk Lee, and then they were going to give you a 1 in 50 foil version here that is basically the same, but slightly different, and it'll be shiny foil. And it will also come with a heftier price tag in the $50 to $100 range as far as old pre-sales go. Both those old pre-sales are a month or 2 months old. Asking prices on the 1 in 50, however, are in the $60 to $125 range. So, no cheap copies available at the moment, but comics will come out tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see what happens once these DC books hit and if they maintain these early asking prices or they fall back down. We'll see. But that's on the DC side of things. On the Marvel side of things, I debated where to put this one, but I ended up putting in the Cheesecake segment because, well, it's pretty cool. Shauna the She-Devil or whatever, with Zabu down there. The Lost World, right? It's the Lost World. Is it the Lost World? Now I'm drawing a blanket with the X-Men down below with Sauron and Kazar. I think it's the Lost World. I can't remember. Anyway, Marvel Zombies, Black, White, and Blood, #4. There is this trade dress cover. It's got, again, black, white, and blood. There is also a 1 in 100 Virgin incentive. So that one, obviously, Marvel doing Marvel. Is another one of those. One early sale. Actually, not early. December 30th. One pre-sale for $165. One listed right now for $200. We'll see what happens. Will this one make the list, or will this be another on the outside looking in? Which we shall see. Also, just a quick little tidbit drop. I told you some things are shifting. You might have noticed new intros, some new outros for Rennavision for this year. I already got a new logo and backdrop for the Hot 10 for this week. But Outside Looking In will also be shifting from Saturday night to Friday night. And you'll be able to see that on the Friday night show's new setup, because they are also doing a bit of a name change and rebranding as well, as the former Get Off My Lawn boys will be coming out, I believe, as the Qualified. So keep an eye out for that. Go check it out, and they will be doing Outside Looking In, which makes a little bit more sense because they'll be following right after the Hot 10. Then you can see the books that just didn't make it right after that. But don't fret. I'm not just taking content from my boys over at SNS, is we will be bringing back a segment I used to do on comicbookinvest.com, and as a quick video on my channel way back when with the variant heat check. I will be doing that for the boys on Saturday for them to cover, because I know how much you guys all like variant covers like this, and we will be looking back on some old ones there. So weird little commercial side break in between in the middle here as we move on to our incentive section with more variants for your viewing pleasure. Final segment of the night, incentives, starting off with Sonic number 68, the 1 in 10. You know the story with these by now. Some hit, some miss. It's hard to tell sometimes. Early indications on this one are this is par for the course. Sales could be $8, $9, $17. Asking prices anywhere from ratio at $10, $20, up to $30. Who knows? But it's another Sonic 1 in 10 for you to keep your eye on out there. Pretty solid Sonic and Tails cover. You got the two of them together in a cave. So it looks like some gems above. I don't know. The Ministry of Compliance, issue 2. Something about this cover jumped out at me. Thought it was kind of fun. You got all the weapons and a toilet and graffiti and all that stuff. UK, whatever. Kind of jumped out at me. Kind of like this. And if you really like this, they have a virgin version, 1 in 50. Just like Marvel, everybody's doing it. Early sales on this one are still basically right around ratio, so no pricing on this one, but still kind of a cool cover, so I figured I'd share it. Same here with a Bjorn Barron's Captain America. I think this is number 5, because we looked at this with the Wolverine cover. This is the 1 in 25. On this one, again, sales on this or asking prices even, it's like $15, so well under ratio, but I thought it was a kind of a cool cover, being that it's a Barron's. Also, Megan Hetrick has a pretty cool Doctor Strange number 11. Again, we talked about this title with the Wolverine cover earlier, but this is the 1 in 25. Clea and Strange. Pretty cool cover. I like it with the little filigree border there in the middle. But again, not selling for much. $15 up to ratio, what you're looking at there. So, yeah, if you're interested, you can get it for cheaper. Those are the ones I kind of like. I like getting the ones for cheaper. However, you're not able to get the Star Wars High Republic Shadows of Starlight that cheap any longer. This is issue 4, I believe, the 1 in 25. Following the spoiler cover that had Briaga on it last month or a couple weeks ago. This issue 4 has a Raza cover featuring the eye. So pretty cool. I like it, but it's already pre-selling. Look, one sold back in November for only $15, but then December 12th sale, $45. Again, early pre-sales on both of those. However, asking prices right now, fishing for that $35 to $50 mark. We'll see if it holds, it goes there, if we see more show up at ratio or what. But right now, early indications are the asking price, at least on this one, is like $35 to $50. So going up to double ratio, one to keep an eye on for this week as well to see where it ends up on Friday. Shadows of Starlight, number 4, the Raza 1 in 25, that Marchand Row cover. I like it. Like I said, I like the cover, but I just can't be shelling out for all of these. Batman's got a couple of cool covers on their incentives. This is the finale, I guess, of that Joker storyline that they've been running lately. I like this. This is the 1 in 25 for issue 141. I like this top-down view of like a crime scene there with Gordon and Batman. It's kind of fun. It's almost like one of those games that you play on your phone. The criminal case, you got to find where's the knife, where's the murder weapon, where's the newspaper, and you click and whatever. You know what I'm talking about. That's what it made me think of. I kind of liked it. But there's also a pretty sweet Joker cover on the 1 in 50 incentive. Both of these are selling for like ratio, thereabouts ratio and less. So no crazy pre-sales on these, but it is a pretty cool cover. I like the purple pops. I think it's a nice one. But still, at 1 in 50, just a bit more than I really want to pay, personally. Up next, we do have Chris Bacalo cover on Birds of Prey issue 5. I think we're on issue 5 here. I like this. This is the white background version. They do have a recolored red version of this as the 1 in 50. Not bad as well. I do like it. I like it better than the white, but I will probably rather spend for the white rather than what this one is going to run you. Yes, there was a pre-sale just today for only $30, but one back at the end of November for $90. Okay, so where is this one going to land? We don't know, because the only one I can find listed right now was for 75 bucks out of the UK. So that's got 30 bucks shipping to the US. So that's over $100 for this 1 in 50. Not for me. Too much. But then again, copies will hit tomorrow. We'll see what happens come tomorrow on this one, because it's a DC book. So Tuesdays are when they drop. Surprisingly, this is the 1 in 50 for Birds of Prey number 5, or maybe unsurprisingly. And just like we've seen with that X-Men book earlier, with the lower ratio, with the more intriguing cover, gets more traffic, there is a 1 in 25 on this issue of Birds of Prey by Nathan Zerdy. Pretty cool. Harley. It's Canary. Tattoos. Harkens back to that issue 1. It was also like a tattoo cover like this. This one already got a decent amount of movement on it. 40, 40, 50 bucks. And those were early pre-sale. Well, no, December 26th. So like a week or so ago. But asking prices, one at auction's already at 30 bucks with 20 bucks shipping. And it still has 3 days left. Then we got some buy it nows. Look at 60 and $70 for this 1 in 25. So already looking for double ratio plus. So as you can see, there's already a handful of books moving and asking for that kind of amount. So we'll see if any of these maintain the volumes to make it to our hot 10 list. But they are things that I am keeping an eye on and giving you a heads up going into your shopping at your LCS, because maybe your LCS will price them nicely for you and be like, all right, we got this Birds of Prey, we'll give it to you for a ratio or less, because you're a good customer and we want to keep you happy. So that's why I do this, give you my look ahead of books that I'm keeping an eye on. But that is it for this week. So once again, thank you for all the support. Thank you for checking out all the content we have here on the channel. As I said, we're doing some shifting, some moving around, rebranding of certain things and re-shows and segments, etc. New year, new stuff coming your way in 2024. I'm excited. Hopefully you're excited, and still having a lot of fun doing this, and I can't wait to bring you guys more content. And with that said, I'll see you all later. All right, bye.